Three, two, one. Welcome back to the Dust Off the Mic podcast, ladies and gentlemen.
Tell me more about your bad life decisions.
It's they's such a bougie bitch. I really don't care.
The gulf between where you want to be and where you are
I wouldn't let her touch me.
is a lot smaller than you think.
You're just not ready for something. That's what that was.
We'll talk later.
I see the process and the journey I'm supposed to be, but perplexed because I don't really see nobody close to me. Hopefully this ain't wasted.
Oh my God.
You gotta
So I was like, all right, cool.
You need the patience and the pressure to detonate. I'm trying to blow up.
Gloves are off.
Need to get it straight. Gifted with a vision and precision. I'm just trying to make it high key. Might be breaking free like I was Zion in some Nikes. Tucked at the crib, bro. You know just where to find me. Making beats and spitting crack verses pretty likely. Yeah. Socks with the.
What's up, creeps? Welcome back to Dust Off the Mic. It is Wednesday, my dudes, so you know what that means. It means you're stuck with me on your fucking lunch break. Welcome back. Had a little bit of technical difficulty, so I apologize for not starting off at noon. Shout out to Slay Cozy Entertainment for not letting me fail, even when I try. We have a guest in the studio today, kind of, sort of, maybe. Before I put him on screen, I've been following him for a few months now and laughing every chance I can, not only with the stand-ups, but with the personable TikTok videos as well. A comedian from Columbus, Ohio, excuse me, I almost said Cleveland. Columbus, Ohio. I have a 2-minute clip of this gentleman, ladies and gentlemen, Tyson Colson.
My dad was black and now I get to do that. You know, I mean, that's pretty cool.
Come down to Dick's Sporting Goods for all your sporting needs. We're the big dicks right off of Morris.
He was black, man. He was black as hell. This is a genuine question for all the bad boys. What are you gonna do when they come for you? Huh? Dumbass? If he ain't like something, he would just be like, He was that black, you know?
Every time a family comes in here, they're like, hey, we love your dicks. Everybody's talking about it. They got a mouthful of our low prices. They can't get enough of our dicks.
I used to be like, Dad, I want McDonald's. He'd be like, we got McDonald's at home, you know? It was that black. And honestly, I just made those two things up. I don't know them at all. We have no kind of relationship. He was never in my life, you know? He was that black.
No matter who the president has been, my life has been exactly the same the whole time, you know what I mean? I've been poor, like I said. I love Obama, but that motherfucker was bombing the shit out the Middle East. Trump was building a wall because he ain't like Mexican people. I owe Cricket Wireless $40 a month the whole time, you know what I mean? I don't give a fuck about politics.
Hey, I'm not watching that video you sent me. I'm gonna put a laughing emoji on it and keep it pushing. You're not funny. I don't care for your sense of humor, dumbass.
Come on down, run head first into our dicks and check out our deals. I guarantee it, you won't forget our dicks!
Tyson Colson, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, buddy?
I'm fantastic. How are you?
Yeah, every time I send a comedian buddy a clip of something funny or stupid, I'm just like, he's not even looking at this shit, dude.
I'm not watching that shit. Yeah, that's what a couple of friends, they send me these videos, man. I'm like, I'm not watching this. This shit got to go somewhere in a folder.
You find you get them more from the comedian friends or like the civilians? I call them the normies.
The normal people, the civilians, you know, since I started comedy and really like diving into it and trying to get better and better at it, I just overhear people's conversations when I'm out places, and I just realized how unfunny a lot of people are. And then it's just with those videos too. People just send me some shit that's just not funny. And I'm like, why did you think this was you thought this was hilarious and you sent this over to me? So yeah. That's it. It's inspired by the normal people who aren't funny. There's a lot of comedians who aren't funny too, but
I would agree with that.
that's
Yeah,
the
I think
difference.
I think people confuse viral with funny as shit. Like there's stuff
Yeah.
that's just goofy and stupid and like yeah, like why would you do that? Of course everybody's looking at this, you know.
I will say I wish I was doing comedy when I had my first viral video. That thing went I was like on the front page of Reddit and there's these media companies in the UK trying to interview me and whatnot. I stole my own
What?
package from a house that I used to live at. And it like yeah, it just got delivered to the wrong house, so I went and got it and their doorbell camera got me and I looked so guilty. And they posted it on the city page, and they were like, "This guy's stealing packages. Be careful." And I was like, and me and the guy cleared it up. But then I remember taking a nap around like noon or 1 p.m. and I posted it on Twitter, and I woke up and it was just going crazy, and it ended up getting like 700,000 likes and retweets and over millions of views, and it was all over the internet. A big meme page just reposted that. That was like a few years ago,
I'm gonna
and they
have to
just
check that
posted it
out.
on their thing not long ago.
You're gonna
Yeah,
have to send me that so I can crop it in with the video. That'd be
yeah,
great.
it's insane. Yeah, so I wish I was doing comedy then, because you get a couple of those moments, and then you get to just tell jokes to the world,
Yeah,
for a living.
you're like not ready for what the people are like into then and there. You know what I mean? It's almost like you gotta
Yeah,
like be on the right train at the right time sometimes.
that's what it is. It's just it's having all the things lined up too. Having like when because something like that happens, and then where I failed is I was trying to like play catch up after while it was happening instead of having everything lined up already,
Hmm.
and then something like that happens, and then you already have like a website or content for people to look at or things along those lines. So I did it backwards, but it was still a fun moment.
So how long you been doing
Yeah.
comedy for?
I've been doing comedy for like a year and a half now.
Wow.
Yeah,
Holy
just like a
shit.
year and a half. But for a long time, um, I've it's like comedy is just another creative writing thing.
Hmm.
It's a creative writing thing, it's performance art. And I've been doing those. I've been doing creative writing and performance arts since I was 12 years old. So like 20 years before I started comedy, I was doing stuff like music or stage plays, acting, writing poetry, writing sketches, skits, short films. Um, so that's always been a part of comedy is just another one of those things. So a year and a half since I've been doing stand up, but I used to do these poetry competitions, and I would write comedy poems and compete with those. So I've been doing comedy for a little. I don't. It's I never really know stand up comedy. I've been doing for a year and a half, but
Okay.
other forms of comedy like improv and yeah, like the poetry comedy and stuff like that. That's been around for a little while.
But
I've
you've
been
always been a
studying.
comic.
I've been a comic for a long time. I made music for a long time. I've just been a performer for a very long time, and somebody that indulged in creative writing
Mm.
for a while. So yeah.
What do you think? What do you think sparked that?
Mm. I remember being a kid, and my mom was married to my little sister's dad at the time, and he was like back in his day he was a rapper. So every time we would drive around, he would rap a lot to us. He would just like rap all the time to us, like his old songs and whatnot. And then just like always loved art in general. My mom used to take me to like art museums and things along those lines. I used to draw. I was trying to get accepted into an art school in San Francisco when I was in Ohio, when I was in high school. So art is just always. I used to draw when I was 8, 9 years old, and then yeah, it's just always been there. It's the only thing that I've ever been naturally good at. So like sports and everything else, I had to like work really hard to get decent at, but art is the only thing I've ever been naturally good at. But I think it's in, I think human beings in general are artists, but we just are doing other shit too much.
It's hard to make a living off art.
Hard to make a living off art, yeah. Then there's so many different forms now that, like, in things with the internet and everything, it's so accessible, and there's so many avenues for it that it's easier to make a living off of it now, but it still is a difficult like venture. But it's way easier than it was when obviously before the internet, when people were just were acting or trying to get on the radio or whatever the case was. But yeah.
Would you say it's easier to create art now?
It's easier to create art, and now because like there's like a lack of artists too, though, because with AI and whatnot. There's comedians who write their jokes with AI that I've seen. Like I know some of these people, and they write their jokes using AI. Or there's artists that will. There's starting to be films and these things made with AI, and content is made with AI. So it's easier to make in that standpoint, but the creative artists, like creativity is like is starting to fade a little bit, because now everything is just it's just AI, just
generated.
It's just generated, typing in prompts for something to make something for you. But the people who are the creative ones and still do things by themselves, or maybe just use AI for assistance because it does make life easier too. Those are always going to be the people that
I
win.
don't think AI is that funny. I haven't found a really funny AI yet. I mean, I found one that can make some good pictures. I found one that can make a good video and some crazy shit, but they're not funny.
I've been trying to think about. Yeah, it's not funny at all. I've been thinking about trying to find some sort of AI that can make like an animated kind of not that looks like South Park, but like kind of South Park-esque. That I would try to find an AI to make something like that, so I can just do voice work and make like some sort of animated series.
If you ever need a voiceover for anything, I got about 90-something impersonations, sounds, and impressions I can rattle off. Yeah. If you ever need them, man, wait till we get to know each other and I get real fucking goofy. I'll start fucking going, just busting out the Jewish impressions and shit. I don't care.
Yeah, that's all right. That's a good time. Yeah, I don't got that many impersonations. I just do Obama sometimes, and that's it.
I like voices. I've always liked voices. I've always liked messing with people, in crowds or on the phone. Like prank phone calls was like a way of life when I was a kid.
Prank phone calls was big back in the day. Like that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've retired. I retired from prank phone calls. I got in trouble.
We gotta bring that back. If people still doing that, I don't think people are. A lot of people, like younger people, aren't. I don't think they're funny enough to do prank calls.
Nah, they're just too mean now. They go for the top shelf now. They go right for the throat.
I think it's edgy. Being edgy is big.
Yeah, right dude, now. I used to call people on fucking Craigslist and just try and find the weirdest thing they were selling, like a dildo or some shit. Like, is this dildo dishwasher friendly? Can I put that bad bitch on the top rack or the bottom? You gotta let me know. You know what I mean? Just fucking giant bird cages. Like, can I fit a toddler in this bad boy? Not saying I'm gonna, but I could I? Stupid shit. Yeah, that art's lost too. That's a lost art, because not only because you get in trouble now if you send somebody in, because if somebody feels a certain way about it and like calls the cops and expresses that feeling, you're done. The cops are looking for whoever that was. I speak from experience. All right, so yeah, I mean, I could tell you that story if you want. I could tell you that story. I got arrested for citing false public alarm. Which is the legal equivalent of calling in a bomb threat.
Oh, dang.
Yeah. I used to go to NA meetings, not to blow anybody's anonymity or anything, but I used to go to NA meetings, and they hand out these little pamphlets with phone numbers on them. They're called meeting lists. I lived in a transitional house, so I was living with a bunch of other addicts as well, and it was like college minus the drinking and partying, you know what I mean? It was like all big and little brothers hanging around. and you don't really have nothing to party with, so you get bored. You know what I mean? So they came to find that, you know, I was a stand-up comic. You know, I had all these voices. They're like, yo, we should prank call so-and-so and tell him this, that, and the third. And one time we called a guy off a back of a meeting list and had him, like, think he was in the middle of an automated response. Thank you for calling the Party Animal automated response. Please press 1 for more options. He's like, what the fuck? Boop. You pressed 1. Party. And like, it just got him to dial like 4 or 5 numbers. And then 6 months into this tradition, we just decided to, I guess, go a little bit further in depth with it. And, you know, we called another guy who is a gay meth head from Brooklyn. Let's call him Mario, right? And I call Mario. I've known Mario for a couple years at this point, but he's just fucking. He's fucking tweaking. Nine times out of 10, he's fucking tweaking. So I called him up, and I was like, "Hello, is this Mario?" And I'm like, "Hey man, listen, I'm stuck in your goddamn tree right now. You need to come out back right now with a ladder." And he's like, "What the fuck? Who is this?" And I'm like, "My name is Dewan, man. You know me. You know me from the NA meetings. You gave me this list, man." And he's like, "What the fuck are you talking about right now? I'm out back. I don't see you." I'm like, "Oh, I'm further back in the woods, man. You can't miss me. I'm 6'8", 290 pounds. I got a glow-in-the-dark t-shirt that says big titties on the back. You can't miss me." And he's apparently scouring the woods all methed out. We hang up. We're dying laughing. We all go to bed. Apparently, Mario thought Dewan was trying to kill himself or hurt himself or he was in danger. So he calls the cops. And the entire night shift of the Mount Laurel Police Department is now looking for a 6'8" imaginary black dude stuck in a tree, to the point where they're using state trooper helicopters with infrared cameras. I don't know if you know how much an infrared camera costs to operate for a few hours, but I do. It's $12,497 and some change, plus the cops' time. And this is the first week in February, probably like 2014, 2015 or whatever. It's the first week. It's 2 degrees outside, dude. It's 2 degrees outside. And they show up to this house, and it's a very nice house in Mount Laurel that we all like pay rent on. And we're all junkies. None of us look like we're related. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we all look like it's like a fucking porn house or something. And these cops bang on the door at 2 a.m. I used my roommate's phone, right? Because I don't block the numbers, otherwise nobody picks up. I used my roommate's phone. When they inevitably pinged it, they thought it was him that did it. And he's like up to here on me. I'm 5'6". He's up to here on me. Short little redheaded white dude. Just got out of prison. He was shook, like up against the wall, shook. And I'd been arrested like 4 or 5 times at this point. So I'm like, no. It was me. Let him go. He's still on parole. Let him go. There's 12 cops in my living room trying to arrest my roommate. And I'm trying, nah. And they're like, get him away. And I'm like, leave the boy alone, goddammit. And they're like, get him. Fucking get him. The sergeant grips me up and says, dude, you have no idea. These cops want to fucking kill you. They want to kill you right now. He puts me in the car. And then, 6 months later, about $18,000 in fines and restitution. And then they added on probation. That's a whole other story, how I got out of violating probation. Sorry, that was a long story, but that's phone calls got me a felony charge with about 3 years clean at that point.
That's terrorism, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, citing false public alarm is the legal equivalent of calling in a bomb threat. And this is after... What?
Yeah, that might be the greatest prank call of all time.
It wasn't great at the time, but telling the story now is the perfect... I can't do it on a fucking guest spot. It's too long.
You were doing numbers right there, but there's definitely, that definitely needs to... You've told that on stage before, that story?
I've attempted to tell it on stage, but it does get a little long, so I got to tighten it up. And probably add a few choppy humor pieces in the middle to keep people interested. That's the funny part about jokes. Even when they're real stories, you got to
you have to
keep them gripping.
That was one of the first things I learned is, you have to like a 20-minute story, you might want to chop that down to 5 minutes or whatever, and just pick out all the funny parts and punch it up really well and keep it. That's how I tell my stories. They're very, very punched up. I watched this when I first started comedy. There's this show on Comedy Central called This Is Not Happening. And the comedian Theo Vaughn has a special on there, and it's just like a 18-minute story. But the way he tells the story, it's about him, like his last time he did cocaine when he was in New York and yada yada yada. And that's what I watched that to learn how to punch up stories. I remember watching that and watching a lot of Mike Birbiglia to learn how to like tell comedic stories very, very well. And then that was that. But that story is insane. It's
Yeah.
really, really.
I wish
great.
I wish I could make a living off of doing voices at some point. You know.
Yeah, those voices were really good too.
Thank
If
you.
I would have closed my eyes, you know what I mean, I could see Dewan right here in my room right
Thank
now.
you. Yeah. I've been working on that one since probably age 7.
Yeah, when that's when you found out you could do voices and stuff, was like 7 years old.
I think some of my first stuff was like little stupid shit. Like I watched Ferris Bueller and watched Cam do the, you know what I mean,
Yeah.
and
That's crazy.
yeah, just weird little shit like that, and that's how it started. And then I realized you could fuck with people, and that was entertaining for me. Like I would mess with my brother. I'd be like, "Open the door, motherfucker!" He's like, "Who is that?" You know what I mean? And and he thinks we're home alone, and it's just freaking him out. And I'm 7. I don't sound like a, I'm not supposed to sound like that at 7. You know what I mean?
Crazy. That's a gift. That's like a real gift, because not a lot of people. I can sit here and try to do voices over and over and over, and they're never going to be that good. That sounds like you have a soundboard or something, and you're just pressing a button. That shit is dope.
Thank you.
That shit's amazing. There's something. We definitely have to figure out how to do an animated series.
Hell yeah. We need a good cartoonist. We need a good animator, and then we just need a couple of goofy ass comedians, and we'll make a whole fucking set list.
I mean, we could put 12 characters in it, and you can play 11 of them. And I'll just fucking, I'll just figure my end out. My character will probably sound exactly how I sound right now.
That's cool. You have a good voice for a cartoon if you needed.
And before you told me that it was a 6'9", 200 and something pound black dude, I knew. I was like, that's a big black
That's a big
guy.
black dude. Yeah, it's a big black dude.
Black.
Well, my best friend's black, and I've been around his whole family, and they're black too. You know, all of them, and it's like I've kind of adhered to his culture a little bit. Plus, I'm Jewish, so he adhered to mine. Like I have jokes about having black people at my bar mitzvah. You know, his
You're Jewish?
Yeah. Don't let the tattoos fool you. I am Jewish.
Hell yeah, man.
It's a fun mix. It's been a fun life thus far, built of experiences.
You don't wear the little hats that don't fall off?
Nah, not outside the synagogue. But if I go to like a temple or something like that, I put one on. I do it right. But not outside of that shit. Now I'm cool. I got hats for that.
I live next to one of the places I play basketball. 2 leagues that I play in is at a Jewish community center here in Columbus, and it's some good players in there. But sometimes I see a Jewish person there wearing that little hat that don't fall off, and I try to like foul them a little bit harder to see if I can get it off.
Check them.
I hit a hard screen or something.
Like a hard pick on them. Like, oh fuck, it's still on.
If I can, I'm like, damn, that thing is impressive, man. That's held on by the Lord for sure. That's
you're competing with curly hair and bobby pins, dude.
No, for real.
That sounds like the most unathletic basketball team ever you just described.
Yeah, I need to get one. Yeah, no, it's a Jewish community center, but there's other kind of folks in there. You know, there's a couple. You know, I think the Jewish team might be the worst team, but they got the worst record, I'm pretty sure. But the other teams are, it's good competition in there. But
that's cool. That's cool. So you do a lot of basketball in your spare time. What else? What other extracurricular? What do you do for a living? Like for work?
I'm very, very successful. I'm very good at. I do Instacart.
Oh, okay, nice.
Yeah, but it's I just do Instacart every day, and it's very, very nice because when I go out of town for shows and I'm in different, I'm going to Chicago coming up, so pretty much I'll just rent a car and then just do Instacart during the day.
That's so awesome. And if you need a couple extra bucks while you're out on the road, you could just do it.
Exactly.
That's awesome.
Exactly. I'll go places and I'll just make sure that I can pay for a hotel and a rental, and then I don't really need any money after that because I just go out during the day and make money for Instacart, and so it's a little it's good.
And
It's
it
good. So I
sustains,
do
right?
that.
It's sustaining.
It's sustaining. Yeah, I go out and make like I'll make like 150 a day, but I know guys that but I don't go out all day. I go out for like 4 hours. But I know guys that go out and they're making 300-400 every day, just staying out all day and whatnot. But there's definitely been times where I'm like, damn, I need $200 for rent, and I'll just stay out and do Instacart from like 6 a.m. till whenever, and fucking make the money that I need. So it's very, very nice. I got health care through Instacart. Like
Really?
yeah, it seems every time I do it, it seems like a fake job, but at the same time, I make money. Like the other day, I did one order. I did one order and got paid $205 for it. So it's just kind of like
Hell yeah.
Instacart is crazy, but it just also allows me to do comedy and do comedy the way I want to do it and do all the other things. But yeah, we need a. He said Slay said he can help us with a animated series. We need to do that. That
Yeah,
shit,
I really think, and I also know of like 4 or 5 other really good, like I guess I call them comedic vocalists. You know what I mean? Guys who can morph their voices real well, like I can, and we can create a whole fucking thing, man. I love the idea. I've been thinking about a cartoon my whole life.
Yeah, that would be amazing. And we could, yeah, that would be amazing. I've been wanting to do that just like more recently, but I just love trying to figure out what piece of content to do next. I have like 2 episodes out for a sketch comedy show that I was making called Cereal for Dinner.
Cereal
But
for dinner, nice.
yeah, Cereal for Dinner. That name has been around for a little while for me. It was like a podcast, and then it was like a street interview thing, and then it was, then that was a sketch comedy show. Um, but yeah, I just love doing those creative things like that for the internet, like internet series and stuff. It's just tough when, like, you're doing them by yourself. It's kind of hard to just find the motivation, but
Hmm.
and then there's comedy, and I'm constantly trying to work on how I can get stand up better. How long have you been doing stand up?
I did my first set at age 17 at a pizza place.
Yeah.
I'm 34 now. I probably did it for like 6 or 7 months after the first set. Got real heavy into like drugs and shit.
Yeah,
um, and then dove a little bit into it for a year or two during the chemical chaos, I'll call it.
yeah.
And then about 2 years ago, I got really back into it. I started Dust Off the Mic Media LLC. I've promoted a couple of shows and booked a few in like Maple Shade, like South Jersey area.
Okay.
Also wanted to try and create more to get better. I'm not phenomenal, but I have what it takes to put it together if I really just kept working,
Oh yeah.
and that's where I'm at.
Yeah.
So I mean, since I was 17 is the short answer, but I mean, in all reality, I like to say I've only been doing it for a few years, like taking it seriously.
Like consistently and whatnot. Yeah. And that's good too, 'cause to have that kind of like that realistic look at it, because a lot of people be like, yeah, I did an open mic 11 years ago,
Yeah.
and then I didn't do anything for 7 years after that, but I'm gonna count that I've been doing it this long.
Yeah. You'd think if I've been doing it since I was 17, I'm 34 now. I should be not in my garage.
And that's what I was gonna say too. I was like, if you've been doing it for a long time and you claim you've been doing it that long for that entire time, a lot of people, I'm like, what were you doing?
I feel like I've always been a comedian. I've always been a clown. I've always been a dude goofing around and finding goofy shit. Like, laughter was the first drug. I always said that. Laughter was the first thing. Like, making people laugh, that was the first thing. Like, I was like, oh, I need more of that. I got to get me some more of that. And as a guy who's got addictive personalities, it was off, you know what I mean? And it just became finding little things here and there, like finding out what type of person likes this type of humor, like reading the room real well, you know. It started young.
Yeah, that's big. Yeah, I remember being a kid too, like middle school or even before then, like trying to like. I remember the first time I ever got a big laugh. I also got like put in detention or whatever. I was a kid, and this other kid told me I looked like Elmo, like ears or whatever. And then Elmo used to have a line where he was just like, "La la la," Elmo's. Or I forget, but when I was a kid, I was like, La La, La La La, Elmo's World, All in Your Mom's Pussy. You know, just like a sports player or something. And it killed, man. It crushed in that room. And the fucking teacher laughed and everything, and I got in trouble, but it killed, man. That was my first time killing right there, and I was like, oh yeah, this is what I got going on right here. I'm about to
Uh,
go. It's a it's a terrible thing, but it was a terrible joke, but it was.
but your first heckler got fucking crushed.
Yeah. I've been doing crowd work since the third grade.
Yeah, I've been doing stupid shit like that. Plus, like the prank phone call stuff. That's just like par for the course. Like, totally not meaning to get into trouble, then getting into mad trouble was the story of my fucking life.
Yeah.
And then I'm honest about my comedic journey because I've been doing it since I was 17, but I really haven't been doing it since I was 17. Like I started, that's kind of where I was like, okay, there is a step to take, blah, blah, blah. And then now I know that there's a bit of a path I could take. I can make my own. Like I've been doing nothing but talking to comedians and people just trying to circumvent the 9 to 5. Like I think what you're doing is brilliant. I think driving or doing delivery while on the road and just trying to get as much fucking reps in as possible, that's some fucking comedic G shit. I love that.
Yeah, it's been very nice. My first year of comedy, I've been able to do I've been fortunate enough and blessed enough to do. I've done over 200 shows, like actual shows for crowds, not open mics, and like actual shows. I've done over 200 shows, and then we in Columbus we're spoiled because we have two, and depending on the week, three. We have an open mic every day, but we have a couple open mics a week that have people will line up and or RSVP and come to these mics, and we'll get 20, 30 regular audience members at these mics. And it is very, very easy in that environment to work on jokes and work on things when you're not just performing for comedians who are going to laugh at a fucking
get clicky. Get clicky.
It's clicky, but then comedians are also kind of fucked up people, so they might laugh at something that's not really funny. It's just whatever, and then you take it in front of a regular crowd and they're like, nah.
That's where our brain goes, kind of shit. Yeah, sorry, man. I didn't mean to laugh at the wrong part, but that's just where my brain goes. Yeah.
I meant to say earlier too that I used to live in a halfway house.
Oh, word, nice.
Yeah, when I moved to LA, I never. I'm a sober person, but I used to smoke weed and stuff, but nothing no hard drugs ever in my life.
Mm-hmm.
I had remember before I had a sex addiction and an addiction to caffeine. We used to have this powdered version of caffeine and we would eat it and shit. And but other than that, no hard drugs. But I remember living in this halfway house when I moved to LA, because I just needed a place to live. I was moving out there trying to pursue music, and I found this halfway house on Craigslist, and I moved in there. And I was living there for the first 8 months I was out there. And there was this little guy named Eugene, who was this little Russian dude who survived Chernobyl. And he ain't have no eyebrows or nothing. And this motherfucker stole my USB and tried to sell it back to me. I had to pick him up.
That sounds like a fucking fever dream you just described.
Yeah, man. It was crazy, man. We all had a bathroom in our room. There was 4 guys in our room. We had a bathroom that we shared. Eugene would lock himself in there overnight, and then you'd go in there the next morning, and there'd be blood all over the place from him shooting up and shit. And I was like, "Damn, Eugene!" And that little dude was crazy, man. He used to tell us, that he sucked this one guy off for some drugs. So
I never took it that far.
Shout out to Eugene. I wonder where he's at now.
Yeah, shout out Eugene. I hope your days are filled with joy and not filled with dicks, Eugene. Please.
I just hope he's alive.
Dude, for real.
His hamburger was in bad shape.
When I first got out, I was staying in a spot called Newfound Freedom out in Pennsylvania. It's 14 dudes in a 1,500 square foot spot on bunk beds and shit. And I'm one of 4 dudes out of 14 that are still alive.
This was a halfway house?
It's called transitional housing. So you go from this to find either an Oxford house or a transition or a halfway house type setup.
sounded like you were explaining the army. That's what I thought you were talking
I
about.
mean, I can do a lot of push-ups.
Yeah,
I can do a lot of push-ups, but
I was just in
I don't follow
a
orders.
conversation yesterday.
Damn,
Yeah.
man. No, I had an interesting paper route to this point, and now I'm like the definition of reformed. I got a family, house, stuff, job,
Hell, hell yeah!
trying to do some
Congratulations.
stuff to make it happy. Yeah, thanks, man.
You sober, completely sober now?
I am not completely. I still smoke, and I've had a few drinks here and there, but that was not my problem. I
Still
was
got a little bit of the devil in you.
yeah. I mean, I smoke for other people's safety, I think.
Hell
Yeah, but other than that, I'm cool.
yeah, that is true. Sometimes you gotta take the edge off before you have to, bite somebody or something in public.
Yeah, I abstained on everything for a little over 11 years. I
Yeah.
didn't just cigarettes and caffeine. That's the only thing I did for a little over 11 years. And then right about a year and a half ago, I'd made a decision and talked to people like I was about to take out a fucking personal loan or some shit. I'd like talk to my father. I was like, "What do you think about this? I'm gonna smoke weed again." He's like, "Well, if you want, And then yeah. Because that's how the Yellowitz family bonds, dude. That's how my family bonded back in the day. Is a little cipher. Just a bunch of Jews smoking weed.
Yeah, that's crazy too. To have that venture as a Jewish person,
Hmm.
losing your way. What are Jewish people are kind of just like Amish people with technology.
In a weird way, you're not super far off. I mean, they're very like closed off and
That's what
like
they feel like.
set in their ways. Well, you're talking about Hasidic Jews. Those
Oh, okay.
Jews look at me and they're like, "That's not a fucking Jew." You know what I mean?
That's like,
They look at me, they're like, "Oh no, I don't like
yeah,
you with your tattooed skin and your opinions." Um,
yeah,
but now
yeah.
I'm what you would call a hyper conservative Jew by 2025 standards. Like I have tattoos, I eat bacon. I don't care. It's more like I guess I identify as a Jew. I've been bar
We have
mitzvahed.
the Jewish. What's the Jewish church called? A
Synagogue.
synagogue. Yeah, they got a soup night at the synagogue once a month over here in the Jewish neighborhood next to me, and they let anybody come in. I got
Hmm.
some soup out of there. It was pretty good.
Hell
Jewish
yeah.
people make a good soup.
Fuck right.
I don't know if it was like kosher or whatever. I don't know, but it was good.
Probably like matzo ball or chicken noodle. Those are the only two things that.
Oh, yeah, it was chicken noodle. It was chicken noodle. Yeah,
Hmm.
it wasn't gumbo. You know what I
No, it
mean? It
definitely
was
wasn't gumbo. If it was
yeah,
gumbo,
yeah.
I'd be a little I'd be surprised. They didn't have
Jewish
the
gumbo.
herbs.
Damn. Yeah, that's just cereal.
It's just.
That's what we call
Ah,
it.
well played. Well played. That's
Yeah,
good. That's just cereal. Oh
Jewish
fuck.
gumbo is just cereal. Yeah.
That's good. I like that.
That's
Any
funny.
aside from making like a cartoon or anything, do you have any like creative journey plans? Like you want to you said you're going to do more sketch comedy, you think?
Yeah, I'll probably do more sketch comedy. I'll try to get the animated series going. I mean, there's just right now the main creative journey is just stand up. I
Mhm.
constantly am trying to just get better and better at stand up, and I do, I do these shows here called like Don't Tell,
Mhm.
pretty often, and there's Columbus has like the number one Don't Tell in the country. And I do those often, so I'm in front of like good crowds a lot, and it's just always so that it's just, you know, busy, very, very busy with that.
Mhm.
And so that's my creative journey right now is just trying to figure out how I turn, because all these other things, whether it's like sketch comedy or an animated series, all of these things is just me trying to be like, how do I do comedy stand up for a living? And you need all of these other things. You know what I mean? It's just rare that somebody pops off of just stand up clips and gets
Mhm.
to do it. There's other stuff you need a bunch of the other stuff. So um yeah, I would love to just figure that out. But stand up is like the main thing. And,
And
maybe some filmmaking. I would love to write a film and do like more acting stuff, like I used to do, and just like and then do something with music, but doing the soundtracks for like films and stuff like that. Because I have I still have 15 years of music experience. That's kind of it's still there. I still mess with it. I have an AI app on my phone actually that I use to for songwriting. Like I'll just still write. I still like to write songs. So I'll write a song and put it in the AI app, and then I'll tell it what genre to do and what instruments to use and this and that, and it'll fucking make a song for me. So everything is. I go to the movies by myself a couple times a week.
Mm,
So it's just I'm encapsulated by just creative stuff all the time.
very nice. Is
Yeah,
the scene in Ohio as far as comedy goes? I mean, when I think of it as a guy from New Jersey, I don't really think of it as like popping. Is it big out there?
yeah. It's like a decent size. It's growing. We
Mm,
have like the headquarters for the Funny Bone. Like the Funny Bone headquarters is here in Columbus. Our Funny Bone here is like the guy who owns the Funny Bone here and runs the Funny Bone. He like owns all of them, and the guy that works here books like across the country. And then you have Don't Tell Comedy, which is a really really big avenue for comedians right now, with like the Don't Tell specials and whatnot. They have millions of viewers and stuff. So that the number one Don't Tell is in Columbus, and
mm,
then we just the Cincinnati scene's really good. Cleveland has a good scene. Columbus has a good scene. So Ohio in general, and I know that a lot of bigger comedians they they plan they put Columbus or somewhere in Ohio early on in their tour a lot of times because the crowds that are here in Columbus, it's one of the Midwest. I do think it's Columbus. I forget what the statistic is, but I think it's like one of the most diverse audience bases that you can find in the entire country
mm.
is here. So if a joke works here, 9 times out of 10 you can take it anywhere. So working on jokes here, I've done stuff in Cleveland, Cincinnati, Columbus, Utah, Austin, Texas. I'm going to Chicago. I've done stuff in Kentucky, and these jokes like they work everywhere because and I think that's just a strength of being in Ohio. Whereas when I travel, there's a lot of different places have different like their own niche things
Mm-hmm.
going on. The
Yeah.
crowds like this thing and whatnot. Whereas it's very very diverse in terms of comedy here. So it's a scene that's growing a lot, and it's yeah. I would say it's a decent size. There's the big ones around the country like Chicago, L.A., New York, but
Mm-hmm.
Columbus is right up there with like the best of them. Austin's big, but yeah.
Oh wow. So I mean, yeah, that's. I don't think I've really ever thought about it like that before. Like different demographics lead to different like preferences, comedy wise.
Yeah,
Like
yeah,
different
exactly.
areas probably wouldn't appreciate one that like the Northeast would appreciate. You know what I mean? Like the,
Yeah,
the Northeast is a very like used and abused area. There's not much you can do to mess with a
yeah,
Jersey guy's feelings. You know what I mean?
yeah,
You know.
yeah. They yeah, Ohio. Because when you're here, you'll do like I mean, and it's it's kind of like this in a lot of places, but not really. Also, because places like LA and stuff, you're really just doing like pretty liberal rooms and whatnot,
Mm-hmm.
and then places like you get down to Texas and you're doing more conservative rooms, and a lot of people who just do comedy in these small towns. But right here in Columbus, depending on what club you're in or what section of the city you're in, we have the conservative rooms, the liberal rooms, the gay rooms, the black rooms, the white rooms, the older. We just have so many different things here to where you can just hit 5 shows in Columbus and then get to experience all of those different things. And if
Mm.
that one joke works in all of those rooms, then you can probably take it anywhere in the
Take
country.
it
And
on the road.
uh,
Yeah, that's
yeah,
awesome, man. That's
yeah,
crazy awesome.
so
You
yeah,
what's that?
I said I love it here for that reason. I got lucky starting comedy here. I think.
Yeah, you've never been to Jersey to do any comedy?
No, when I was in Jersey, I was making music at the time. Yeah, I was a rapper for 15 years, and when I was in Jersey, that's what I was doing is performing music, doing music stuff, and yeah.
Yeah.
But I haven't performed any comedy really venturing out. This is all like newer.
Mm-hmm.
So like the first place that I went was Austin, and then I was in Utah doing shows out there, and then Chicago's coming up. But other than that, it's really just been mainly Ohio, like Cincinnati, Columbus, Cleveland. And some guy just hit me up recently that throws a show in Boston, and was asking me, asking me if I could come over and do that. So at some point I'll head over to Boston, and then I would love to get to New York and Jersey and all those spots.
Well, if you're
And
ever in
try it
Jersey,
out
man,
there.
I'll I mean, I have a good relationship with the Maple Shade 25 clubs. I mean, if at any point you plan on making like a little bit of like a tour, let me know what date you're gonna be in Jersey. I'll put something together.
Get something lined up. Yeah, I appreciate that. I would
Yeah.
definitely yeah, Jersey. I would go anywhere and do
Hell yeah.
comedy. It's fucking yeah. Jersey's a dope spot. I want to get to, and I just want to always explore Jersey more. I've heard a lot about it, like Jersey City and just other
Yeah,
spots.
you got to go down to South Jersey.
South Jersey.
North Jersey's mostly just still New York. Like once you go north of Trenton, at least in my perspective, it's still just New York.
Yeah, it's just diet New York.
Yeah. Well, if you go South Jersey, we empathize a little bit more with Philly. You know, we're Phillies fans. Like Delaware can shit in a hat and wear it, but Philly's where it's at. That's
New
where
Jersey don't got sports teams no more.
we do. But what are they?
It ain't the Nets no more. They went across the bridge.
No, I'm a Phillies guy. My father was a Phillies guy. His father before him, Philadelphia Phillies, the Flyers, Eagles, whatever. I will follow them till my grave, just because it is my duty to do so.
Oh, the Jersey Devils, the hockey
Yeah,
team.
the Devils are ass. Flyers are better.
Yeah, the Flyers are better.
Flyers are way better.
I'm in Ohio. I don't think we got a. No, we do have a.
Yeah. Yep. Sound cut out a little bit. Slayer. Hold on. Technical difficult. There you go.
That was my fault. I was getting a call.
No, that's cool.
Yeah, but I was gonna. I think the Columbus Blue Jackets are our hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what. I think that's the.
You guys got the Cavs, right? The Cleveland Cavaliers, right? What else?
Cleveland Cavaliers. Yeah, they fell short this year. To
Yeah.
the Indiana Pacers, but that's all right. Yeah, we got the Cavaliers and the Browns, but fuck.
Yeah, sorry. When I used to sports bet, I used to bet for the Browns to lose and the Pats to win, and that was a sure thing at that time.
Yeah, the Browns to lose and the Pats to win. That'll win you a little bit of money most weeks.
Yeah, that'll give you some excitement. You might break even. You might come up a couple bucks, but
yeah.
No, I can't. I can't say I've never actually been to Ohio. I've been real close. Like I was up in, like I said, Hermitage is like right there. All I know is I'm surrounded by Sheets when I was there.
Oh, Sheets?
Yeah.
Oh, Sheets is that's one of my favorite places to have dinner.
Yeah. I'm a Wawa guy. We're in Jersey, so it's definitely a Wawa thing.
Oh, Wawa! I hear about Wawa. I've heard about it. I've never experienced it, but yeah, I go get a nice turkey melt from Sheets, or something like that. Yeah. Sheets is it's a late night spot when you want some mozzarella sticks or something. Me and my friends will drive over to Sheets at 2 a.m. a lot of times and get fucking Red Bull infused slushy. That's what they like.
Damn.
I'm not drinking any caffeine or nothing like that, but I'll get some mozzarella sticks, some cheese curds. You know what I mean? A little 6 for 6 taco deal.
I thought Sheets was an analogy for what it makes you do when you're done eating. Shit. Just fucking shit on.
For real, yeah. For real. I got a pretty strong stomach though, so I'm holding it in a lot of times. I think I haven't shit now in 3.5 weeks, I'm pretty sure. But
that's not good. You wanna hop off stream and go to the hospital real quick, dude? You gotta make a poopy, dude. What the fuck?
I think I'm trying to set a record. I'm trying to do a couple months. No, but yeah, Sheets will help you out if you can't afford laxatives.
Yeah.
You just go get a little 6 for 6 taco deal and it'll help you out.
Oh, you guys got 6 for 6. Our 7-Elevens don't even do the 3 for 3 anymore.
No, yeah, the 7-Elevens, yeah. Now it's like buy a slice of pizza, get one for $1.
It's all corporate now. Any comedic heroes? Any people that you idolized growing up that eventually landed you to this lifestyle choice?
I mean, Dave Chappelle. For sure.
No, you're cutting out a little bit again. I don't know if you can hear me. He can't hear me. Somebody calling again?
Yeah, somebody calling me.
No, I'm sorry. Now we can edit it all out. It'll look great. I promise. It's just live right now. This is the raw shit, folks.
Yeah, let me text me like I'm doing
So you people on YouTube won't even know how much we struggle to fucking make it look good. If you got to take a call, man, take a call. I can go. I can go put a BRB screen on and have everybody jam out for a minute or two if you need to. No biggie.
No, I'm just the text and we can keep going. Uh,
Slayer GPU usage looks good. CPU looks good. Everything's nice. Everything looks fine. No reds, all grays. Slayer said it's all the clubs calling you because you're important.
oh yeah. I wish I was that important.
Same.
All right. All right. We should be all right.
Rewind back to you said Dave Chappelle and then you cut out.
Yeah, Dave Chappelle. He lives right here in Ohio.
Mhm.
He's like an hour away from Columbus in Yellow Spring. And they throw shows out there and whatnot. But I remember growing up and having the Chappelle Show, which was probably one of the greatest sketch comedy shows ever. But
Amen.
it's him and Bernie Mac
love
were
Bernie.
really big when I was growing up. Yeah.
I love the Kings.
Yeah, the Kings of Comedy. My
Mhm.
mom was always had that stuff playing in the house.
Mm-hmm.
So comedy has always been around. When I was younger, you had Chris Tucker, Martin Lawrence,
Mm-hmm.
all of those specials, stuff like that. But it's always been around, but it never. I remember being a kid and people telling me that I should do comedy, that I should do stand up and stuff. But as a kid, it's like there's no like I couldn't really like see a future in comedy. Like I couldn't really grasp that. It was like I want to play basketball or I want to make music or something like that. That seemed like the cool things when I was a kid, but I've always been told that I should do comedy. It's always been like naturally funny, but when I started to get back into it, it was going back and watching Chappelle and Bernie Mac and then like Theo Von was big at the time for me. Just he was just everywhere. He's hilarious, and he was just like, he just like popped at the time. And I remember living in LA and seeing some open mics and then seeing some comedy shows. The first show I ever went to was a guy named Ali Sadiq, great storyteller. But and then I started studying it when I was like 21. I started diving into comedy and really studying it. And then I did that for like 10 years. And then I started stand up. And I tried my first open mic in like 2022. And I bombed so bad. It was rough. I was sweating. I was forgetting what I was talking about. I got lightheaded. It was really, really bad. But that kind of inspired me to be like, okay, let me work on some stuff more and then I'll come back out. But I would say when you ask that question, immediately the two people that pop in my head is Dave Chappelle and Bernie Mac. Just their ability. I remember when I started comedy, a thing that was very, very important to me was not sounding like I was doing jokes. Was just trying to make it as personable as possible. It just sound like I'm just talking to the audience. It was having
a conversation.
Yeah, when I'm performing, I make a lot of eye contact when I'm performing. I'm telling stories. I'm trying to include the audience in as much as I can, just to make it, just seem like we're doing this, like a podcast kind of, know, with a live audience, and I'm just telling stories and whatnot. And Dave Chappelle does that so well. So where like when I watch him, he has bits of material, but it's kind of like it doesn't seem like it. It never seems like it the way he delivers his stand up, and that's very, very special. So yeah.
Slayer asked, do you think that comedy acting is different than your stand up comedy?
Comedy acting, that's like very different. I mean, comedy acting and like sketches and then movies and things along those lines, that stuff, it's a big talent. But then it also, I think, is not as difficult as stand up because you can do 10 takes. You can pre-write it a lot of times, and you're pre-writing your jokes. But stand up, you might have a heckler, or it's a different kind of crowd. Maybe you got to change your pacing a little bit, and it's a completely different thing. There's a lot of because there's a lot of people who do comedy, but they're not funny people. So then they kind of get lost in those moments, or they're just like joke machines, and they just want to write jokes and try to go through the material. But for live performances like that, I think you need more personality and stuff than like stand up acting, where you can sit there for 8 hours and make sure you get it right and get it to where you love before you put it out on the internet and stuff. And that's still a special talent too, and I still love doing that and love being a part of that. But stand up is like, I think that's the thing that keeps people sharp. It's like a lot of actors and stuff, like Ed Helm from The Hangover. He's an actor, but when he's not in a role, he goes out and does stand up, because it's kind of like it keeps him sharp, it keeps the things going,
Keeps his timing.
It's funnier, it's timing, it's all the things that I think it encapsulates like what comedy is at its core is stand up. But all of it's amazing.
I like that it's almost a different experience, even though you're saying a lot of the same stuff. It's almost a different experience every time. Like I'm a salesman as my day job. Like it's what I do. Somebody comes in, they could want one thing, and they could want the opposite end of the spectrum of what I have to offer. And they all have different walks of life, and you got to be that personality. You got to be able to shift and pivot. Yeah. And I think sales keeps me sharp for stand up, and stand up keeps me sharp for sales. You know what I mean?
That's fair. Yeah. It's fair. Yeah, it's just talking to people. And when you're able to work that muscle, because there's a lot of times, I'm watching people do stand up a lot of times, and they're just like standing in one place, looking off into space, like looking at the ceiling, not looking at people, not trying to connect with people in any kind of way, and they're just going through their jokes. And I think a lot of people get the misconception and think that stand up is just, I'm gonna write a joke and this will carry me, and just be like that joke machine. But then you don't separate yourself from the next person that's just writing a joke and trying to, do that same thing. It's a performative art, and it needs that genuine aspect, and it needs the personality of the person. Other than that, then AI can just do all this shit if we're just not gonna, try to perform and make it an experience for the audience.
Yeah. I think if prompted well, AI is funny in like a weird, gross sense. Like I don't know if you've seen like these AI alien or Bigfoot videos. Like they're funny because they're goofy, but the timing's real off. Like unless they're taking the recording of somebody speaking, the timing's way off. It always is.
And people doing like the podcast with the babies.
Yeah, we had a couple of clips made about Slayer had me and him turned into babies from a few episodes back. He said that AI baby thing is great. He's been posting your links and shit too, by the way. We got cereal for dinner's up there. What else did you throw up there, Slay? The music and stuff. Oh, thanks, dude. Spotify. You got your Spotify up there. Show tickets for the double feature coming up on the 11th.
I'm excited for that one, and I'm excited to produce. It's a little stressful too, because the whole time, like, while promoting it, and I'm just hoping that people go. And then it's also like in the summertime too, which is always tougher to sell tickets. In the summertime, we have 2 shows that night, a 7 p.m. and a 9 p.m. So I'm hoping people go, and but it should be a fun experience. I think we'll be able to sell both of them out. It's a smaller club here. Hashtag it's 55 seats, sells it out, and so
it's a good size though. It's a good intimate size.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah. It's one of my favorite places to perform for that reason. I would love to experience a theater and stuff. I just saw Shane Gillis recently at an arena. And arena comedy, I hate that. I understand it from the aspect of the comedian. You can make a lot of money in one night doing that, but it just takes away that whole, like, being there with people kind of thing.
It's it's a storyteller's venue. It's
and it's weird too, because you're up in the the
Titantron.
You're up in the nosebleeds watching comedy, and then there's people on the floor. And then it kind of just feels like you're spying on somebody else's show. Like you're not even supposed to be here, and they're doing comedy for these people, and you're kind of like watching through a window or something. It feels creepy.
You just
So
paid for it to be louder for you.
you just paid for it to be louder, exactly, but you're not getting no like fucking personal connection with this comedian at all. You
Mm.
still gotta watch the jumbotron just to see their face because you're so far away. So it's just kind of yeah, arena comedy. It makes sense for the comedian because you
Mm.
make a lot of money, but it takes out the whole like a big aspect of what makes stand up comedy special.
Is there an ideal venue for you? Like if you had, like some people want to do Madison Square Garden, or some people want to do the Superdome, or me personally, I'd like to do Lincoln Financial Field in Philly, like
That'd be
Kevin
awesome.
Hart,
Yeah,
did.
yeah, that'd be awesome. I'd like to experience something like that. I don't think I have like an ideal venue right now. I can't think of like there's a very popular theater. I want to do theaters really bad just to experience that. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think comedy out like I don't think anything will beat comedy in a packed like a tightly packed club.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? A club that holds 100, 200 people, and everybody's packed in there.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a little warmer in there because the
Yeah.
body
Yeah.
and like you know, comedy in those kind of rooms, nothing beats them. It's just like everybody's laughing and having a good time. That's one of the best feelings in the world. But also at the same time, that's all I've experienced. I haven't experienced a
I
theater or
mean,
like
yeah,
an
same.
arena. So that might switch for me, you know, if I get to that point where I get to experience those things. So, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the way you're describing theater, it's almost like the Comedy Central present stage. Like, you've seen Dane Cook's special on there.
Yeah.
Like that size of a venue is probably
Yeah,
what I'm thinking.
like that 4,000, 5,000 seat venue. Um, it just seems like there's something about the setup of a theater that just seems like an awesome experience to be able to look up and just, you know, there's people all around you and you're just like, you know, in this the head of this dome, what it feels like. I don't know. It seems I've gone to a couple theaters to watch like Josh Johnson and like Marlon Wayans and stuff like that, and the theaters I really enjoy the shows there. But yeah, just like you know, the clubs is just you know I see like watching like Louis C.K. or something at the Funny Bone.
Mm-hmm.
It's a very very special show, stuff like that. I don't know. The clubs is the best thing in the world, but I would
Yeah.
like theaters. And it might be like because I have like a slight background in stage acting and stuff, to where theaters something about them seems like I really want to be in there doing comedy.
Hmm.
But yeah, what was it? He was after all these people coming on stage and attacking comedians. How do you feel about that possibly happening to you guys? I'm 6'4", 205 pounds, and I, you know, I mean, if somebody, I just, you know, it just
Bring it on.
yeah, if it happens, it happens. You know what I mean? If it happens, it happens. I'm not saying I don't even know if I can really fight that well. I haven't been in a fight in a long time, but like it's just like the look. You know what I mean? They do that to comedians that are like smaller people. You know what I mean? So the people that they think like Will Smith was it? He wanted to smack fucking, you know, if it was
He wouldn't have slapped Jamie Foxx.
if it was Jamie Foxx, it was like Michael Jai White or something.
No,
He's
Michael Jai White would have
Rock.
toasted Will Smith.
Yeah.
But I'm
Like
5'6". I'm
Chris Rock is
5'6", like
5'9".
190. I'm the guy
Yeah.
people slap for talking shit on his wife.
Yeah, they're like Will Smith, man. See, shit like that is like that's people are storming stages when they think that they can test the person up there. And I don't even know if I can fight. I don't even think I probably can't even fight well. But I look like I can. You know what I mean? And I look like I got nothing to live for because my mustache is my lip. So I look a little homeless. Like I look like I just lost my family. Like I just lost everything. And that's you gotta somebody will think twice before they came up there. And also I also don't do jokes and things on stage that are feel condescending or like I'm attacking anybody. I just do stories about my life, crazy things that have happened to friends and family and stuff like that. But There's a couple times I do, you do some crowd work, you might roast somebody a little bit, but nothing. I think I've always had one of my favorite compliments actually was from my friend's dad when I was in high school. He told me, he was like, you have a special ability to be funny without being condescending. So even when I'm making fun of somebody, you feel like we're doing it together.
Yeah,
like
we're joking. We're joking around.
I'm not throwing jokes at you. It's like we're here together doing.
You got a good delivery. You got great delivery.
Yeah, and so that's important. Anybody that tries to run on stage, but sometimes I almost wish it would happen a little bit. Yeah,
you'd be good from South Jersey, from the Wisher motherfucker woods.
Yeah, because I'm already up here. I know I kick hard. I know that. So
you wouldn't even need to lift your leg up too much to kick me in the face, dude. I'm 5'6". I'm tiny.
You're 5'6"? I'm
5'6". Yeah. Don't let the deep voice and tattoos and fairly good looking arms fool you. I'm fucking tiny. I can fit in your briefcase.
When did you hit your pinnacle of 5'6"?
I have been the same height since 5th grade. I'm glad you asked.
Since 5th grade?
Yeah, 9/11 stunted my growth. That's when it happened. So
brother.
Terrorism.
Yeah, man. But I think a lot of times Jewish people are smaller people.
Sometimes, yeah.
There's every now and then there's a tall, skinnier ones. Those ones always throw. Not those ones.
And then once a generation, we get Bill Goldberg.
Goldberg is Jewish?
Yeah. Bill Goldberg?
Jesus.
Yeah.
Bill Goldberg is Jewish?
I think. I'm pretty sure.
That's a big motherfucker, man.
That's a big motherfucker. Yeah. That's like our guy. Like if we need an avatar to represent the Jews, I'm picking Goldberg. I don't even care if he's old now.
That's your guys' LeBron James right there. That's
Hell yeah.
Jordan.
He's old as shit now though. He's got to be almost 70 years old now.
Bill Goldberg? No.
Let me look that up. Hold on. I'm talking
I would have guessed
shit.
he's in his late 50s.
You think?
Late 50s.
You might be right. You might be right. I'm often wrong. So, Bill Goldberg. 58. You're right.
58.
He's 58.
Yeah, I can see it on.
Still looks like a fucking tank. I'm afraid to go to the other screen because I might fuck up the Discord thing because I'm an idiot. But yeah, he still looks like a fucking freak. God damn.
A lot of those wrestling guys are for sure like on steroids.
Yeah. Oh, 100%.
Yeah, that's what made Chris Benoit kill his family and stuff.
I think there was a lot going on there. Just somebody I went to recovery with told me one time because he was a juicer, but he was very like calm and demure. Like he wasn't like a very crazy guy. He says steroids, in addition to making your body more what it's supposed to be, it makes you more of who you are, personality wise. He says so if you're a calm, chill dude, the steroids is gonna just tone you down. In addition to your body. He said the people who lose their fucking mind, he said those are the guys who are chemically imbalanced already before they took the shit. He says if you take it the right way, he says you'd be fine. But yeah, wrestlers are, most of them, I imagine. You need it. You need steroids. You die.
That is true too. Yeah, I know some guys on steroids that are nice people. They're not all roiding out, raging out.
Joe Rogan's on steroids. He's a fucking saint.
Yeah, he's definitely on steroids. That motherfucker, he's a short guy too.
Yeah, he's an inch taller than I am though, so I got him beat.
Yeah, he beat the shit out of me.
Oh yeah, it's a funny thought to think that like one person can go into a room of like 20 people and then it's like the gorilla analogy. Ain't nobody stopping that guy.
I just saw John Jones was just in Columbus. I just saw him like. This was probably like a month and a half ago. My friend sold him weed, and John Jones was here in Columbus, and it's the most insane feeling to be in a room with a person that you know could just kill you if they wanted to.
Just tear you apart.
There's nothing you could do about it.
Nope.
That dude, me and him are the same height. We're both 6'4", but he's 250, and you just know that dude's a killer. I saw you seen that video of the dude trying to break into John Jones's car?
Yes. Fucking
he
idiot.
Running after him with a shotgun.
Yeah. Fucking idiot. Do a little research.
Shot, and he don't even need to do that.
Nah. He could have just taken him out with his fucking elbow. Just started fucking elbowing him in the head.
I love seeing videos of regular people fucking with MMA fighters. Like there was this dude that didn't know who Israel Adesanya was.
Mm,
He was in traffic arguing with him and told him he was gonna fuck him up. And I was like, you have no idea who this person. Like it's just insane. It's so funny. It's
nope.
so funny.
Israel will fucking put you to sleep for good.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you're almost a foot taller than me. You're 2 inches shy of a foot taller than me. You're a full 10 inches taller than me. That's crazy. So if I invite you to Jersey, you're gonna have to like actually look down and make sure you're not stepping on me when you fucking get here. You're like, anybody seen Dustin? Check the bottom of your shoe.
Yeah. it's a good life. It's not bad. My knees hurt sometimes from playing sports and stuff. Sometimes I stand up too fast and I get a little woozy because I'm just got a long way to go up. But
Yeah.
being 6'4", it's nice.
Yeah.
It has its advantages. I can read shit.
I imagine it has more advantages than being short.
I was trying to think of a nice response, but yeah.
Because you've been both. I've never been tall.
Yeah, that is true.
There was a point where you were 5'6", my guy, and then now you're not.
I can't even think. I might have been 5'6" when I was born.
That sounds about right.
I can't even think of a time. Because when I was in high school, when I started high school, when I was in 8th grade and my freshman year, when I started high school, I was 5'9", 5'10".
So you were about the same. You were about like mid fives in like late middle school, early high school.
Yep.
And then your last growth spurt.
Then I hit a little growth spurt like my sophomore, junior year of high school, and I just sprouted up to 6'4". Good.
That sounds. Good. I'm still waiting on that. I'm still waiting on my growth spurt at 34 years old.
Blay asked me, "Do I game?" I do play video games.
Yes,
I got like on my other monitor right here, right now. I got Marvel Rivals pulled up. I used to play League of Legends professionally. Back in my day, I made a bunch of money playing Fortnite. I used to be ranked globally playing Gears of War and stuff like that.
I love Gears, dude. Holy shit.
Yeah, Gears was a classic game. I played a lot of video games and I still play. It's one of those things that my life is very simple. Like I do comedy, I play basketball, I play video games, and I go to the movies. And that's my entire life. That's what I do in Instacart during the day. But yeah, it's just kind of it's just those things. I think I just got like a handful of autism, so those kind of things just help me out a lot.
Man, some people got a truckload, dude.
Some people got a I got a little bit. I got enough. I got enough to get me through the day. But some people's fucking months get slowed up because of it. That's all right. That's all right. Yeah.
What did you say, Slay? I'm a semi-truck full, says Slayer.
A semi-truck full? Yeah. We all gotta have something, brother. So that's good if you got that. And I'm gonna pray for you.
It depends on the topic. There's topics where I'm like a little Salt Bay of Tism, and then others I'm a full train car. Yeah. No hostility towards the Jewish people, but I'm a full train car filled with autism.
Yeah, sometimes I just start drawing shapes on the walls.
Hell yeah, dude! Nice.
That's what's going on here. I'm triangles and everything.
But do you have a crayon or a marker? That's the real question. I think that'll explain the level.
Crayon.
Oh, crayon? Yeah. All right. So we got a truckload.
If you're claiming you're autistic and you're using markers, brother, you're a poser. Get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? It's crayons or nothing. Crayola. I need that wax on the fucking canvas.
I want them. I want more than 100 colors too. None of that little bitch box you get at a Fridays.
That little fucking 12-pack.
Yeah.
I want fucking Clementine.
I want name brand. I want colors that offend people.
Yeah. I want magenta. I want fucking blackface. I want that crayon.
Yeah.
I need a little bit of everything, man.
One day they'll turn my last name into a color. It's Yellowitz, so it's like the worst fucking crayon in the box, dude.
Yellowitz?
Yellowitz, yeah, like the color only Jewish.
Yeah, that sounds like a version of alopecia or something.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I mean, a lot of things rhyme with wits. Shits, dicks, clits, bitch. Kids are cruel.
Yellowitz,
yep.
That's a different venue of Jewish last name.
Yeah, he says that's usually the Jewish cereal.
Yeah, that's Jewish. Yeah, that's gumbo.
Yellowitzes. Yeah, I don't know. My brother does comedy a little bit too, but he does a lot of social media stuff. He goes by, believe it or not, my father's middle name, which was Stevens. My dad did Stevens because he was a stand-up comic too.
Was it?
Yeah, he passed a little over a year ago. Say again?
This just runs in the family for you.
Yeah. I mean, my dad's was always a vocal guy. Like he did bingo for our synagogue, so he was up on the microphone cracking jokes with the old ladies and calling out numbers. Yeah. You know, my grandfather used to do that shit, and then my dad was actually the first one to start picking up a mic and telling dick jokes. You know, so we're like, this is awesome. Like we wanted to do it too, and we lost him a little over a year ago. But so we're still cranking. We're still trying to. Yeah, it's all right. I appreciate it. We're still cranking in his honor. But I do Yellowitz. I like to hold down the family name.
Absolutely.
Add some good stuff to it. Yeah. Plus, being arrested for multiple felonies, you want Google to start looking a little bit better when you search my fucking name. So I got to start adding good shit to the name. You know.
Nah, bro. The felonies, the prank calls, yeah, this ain't a normal Jewish life, but it's good.
No, it's a little out of the ordinary for sure. Yeah. But hold on, I gotta probably. What do you think? Wrap it up right there. Think?
Oh yeah, that sounds good to me. It's always been about an hour and a half. Damn.
Yeah, we've been talking a lot. Any goals or projects? Take us out. All right. Well, you take us out, man. You got anything you want to plug? Any special adventures? Talk about your show.
Yeah, just that show that's coming up in July 11th, #comedy in Columbus, Ohio, with myself and Elijah Nevels, and me and him co-headlining, doing 30 minutes each, and then Allison McBain hosting. It's going to be a very, very fun show. And that's really what I'm trying to promote the most. There's a bunch of other shows coming up and whatnot that I have and other things, but yeah, just follow me. Okay. I can do this for a living.
Hell yeah, same. All right.
Absolutely, both of us.
All right, so we got Tyson Colson Comedy on TikTok and Instagram, and you can pick up tickets to the Friday, July 11th show, the Colson Nevels double feature at #comedy.com. Like, subscribe, follow, share, guys. We're not gonna fucking stop. Like, we're just fucking crazy. We're out here doing what we got to do to try and make the day great. You know what I mean? Out here following the shit out of these dreams. Yo, Tyson, I appreciate you coming by, man. It's been so cool fucking meeting you, dude. This is so cool. I love it when I meet somebody or I start watching somebody and then I actually reach out and then they actually message back and then you turn out to be a great person. And dude, let's fucking work on some shit. Let's get some let's get some cartoons made and I have a whole network of Twitch nerds to help us if you need it. So
1000%, let's do it.
Hell yeah, dude. All right, everybody.
I don't wanna talk. How you try and press the kid and really you was soft. All you know is capping, homie, you don't know the law. Pedal to the metal, you ain't catching me in park. I just hit the start, I don't wanna speak. Talking all that good, so I just hit you with the plays. Running up the score like Tyreek, I'm going deep. Watch me how I'm saucing, I be spreading it with ease. You gon' see the peas. Hey, please be on the notice, these my motives. Bought my chicken and it's rotis. You parsimonious, you take it all cause you a locust. My focus is to grow this mission. A visionary, get a dictionary. We here off the rip and we ain't sharing, we just caring. Let me speak it to the manager. We damage her, no you ain't messing with an amateur. I'm ramming, the competition they ain't standing up. They fanning from left to right cause now they branded us. Now who that is? Mike Jones, they ain't want me now, they all on me. Got counterfeits trying to play me, I guess they thinking I'm Sony. These big head dummies showing up and out of their character. Homie, you need a price cause without it the squad ain't hearing you. Top of that, we ain't fearing you. We swinging for the fences with the sting of a